B. May 34, Senior Systems Architect / Backend Lead. Work for a mid-sized logistics firm handling automated supply chains for pharmaceutical giants. Essentially, we move pills from point A to point B using robots and a massive proprietary legacy codebase. Built the Atlas system from the ground up 8 years ago. It's a monolithic beast written in a mix of C++, Go, and some ancient assembly for the hardware interrupt controllers on the conveyor belts. System is ugly, undocumented, and runs on black magic and caffeine. But it works. Uptime is 99.999%. Efficiency is through the roof. Company makes millions a week. Just on the margins, I shaved off the packet routing latency. Be the only guy who knows how the deep kernel logic works. Bus factor of 1. I sit in a dark corner of the server room because the hum of the cooling fans drowns out the open-plan office noise. Noise-canceling headphones always on. Stoic, quiet, efficient. I speak in tickets and get commits, not small talk. Make $200K a year to mostly stare at monitors and occasionally type /restart service, sh. Life is good. Life is peaceful. Enter the restructuring. Old CTO retires. Great guy knew his stuff, let me work in peace. Board of directors decides the company needs a culture shift. Apparently, profitability and stability aren't sexy enough for the IPO roadshow. They want diversity, inclusion, and modern values. Enter Sheila, new VP of Engineering. 30-something, masters in digital sociology or some such nonsense. Resume is full of buzzwords: agile evangelist, scrum master, change agent, intersectionality consultant. Has never written a line of compilable code in her life. Dyes hair a new neon color every week. Nose ring that clinks against her coffee mug. First all-hands meeting. She stands on a stage with a headset mic like she's doing a TED Talk. Slides are 90% generic corporate art of diverse people high-fiving. We need to decolonize our codebase. We need to dismantle the patriarchal structures embedded in our network topology. Engineering is no longer about just working, it's about feeling. I almost choke on my lukewarm black coffee. Look around at the other devs. The junior wages are nodding enthusiastically, terrified of being cancelled. The senior guys are staring at their shoes, praying for death. She locks eyes with the room. I'm here to disrupt, I'm here to challenge the status quo. If you aren't comfortable with change, you aren't comfortable with progress. Red flags flying so high they look like a Grand Prix start line. 2 weeks later, Sheila starts her audits. She's not auditing performance, security, or redundancy. She's auditing language and hierarchy. Calls me into her glass-walled office. Calls it the safe space sanctuary. Op, I've been looking through the repository documentation. Okay, find any bugs. Worse, I found microaggressions. Silence. Op, why is the primary database node referred to as master and the replicas as slaves? Rub my temples. Because that's standard industry terminology, Sheila. One controls the right operations, the others copy the data. Master, slave, it's a technical descriptor, not a political statement. She sighs, shaking her head like I'm a disappointing toddler. It's violent language, Op. It evokes historical trauma. It creates a hostile work environment for our BIPOC team members. Our database team consists of me and a guy named Dave. Dave is white and I'm Asian. Neither of us cares. It's about the asterisk principle asterisk. Also, I see you have a process killer function named Reaper. That's overly aggressive. And why are some IP addresses on a blacklist and others on a whitelist? The color coding of good-bad is inherently racist. Stare at her. Trying to calculate the logic jump. Result syntax error. Sheila, changing these terms requires refactoring the entire core kernel. The firmware on the warehouse robots is hard-coded to look for the master flag in the packet headers. If we change it, we have to flash firmware on 4,000 robots physically. Then do it. We are an anti-racist organization now. That will take months, it risks downtime, it costs money for zero performance gain. She leans forward, eyes narrowing. It's not zero gain, Op, it's moral gain, and I'm making it a KPI for this quarter. refactor the code, sanitize the language. I want primary replica, allow deny, and change Reaper to graceful closer. Graceful closer. Yes, language matters. Leave the office. Go back to my cave. Check the employment contract. Check the severance package. Decide to wait it out. Maybe she'll get fired or bored. Ignore the request. Continue optimizing the SQL queries. Week passes. Get an email. Subject urgent and in compliance with D&I initiatives. CC HR CEO legal. OP has refused to adopt the new inclusive language guidelines. This is an act of insubordination and signals a deep-seated resistance to our values of equity. Summon to HR. HR lady is Sheila's friend from college. OP, we take these complaints very seriously. You are creating a toxic environment. I am maintaining a high availability system that generates the revenue that pays your salary. Your tone is combative. That's a sign of toxic masculinity. We need you to be an ally. I need the servers to not catch fire. Sheila is your superior. You will follow her directives, or we will have to initiate a performance improvement plan, PIP. A PIP for the guy who built the company. Realize this is it. The point of no return. Stoicism kicks in. Logic overrides anger. If they want it broken, I will break it. But I will break it their way. Go back to Sheila's office. I've thought about it, Sheila, you're right, I was being closed-minded. She beams. Victorious smile. I knew you'd come around. It's hard to unlearn privilege, isn't it? Yes, very hard. I'm ready to do the refactor, but I have concerns about the hierarchy of the system architecture itself. Bait the hook. What do you mean, she asks. Well, even if we rename master-slave to primary replica, the asterisk structure is still hierarchical. The primary node dictates truth to the replicas. It's authoritarian, it's patriarchal. Her eyes light up. I have tapped into the source code of her brain. Go on. And the traffic shaping. We prioritize packets from the premium clients over the standard ones. We treat data packets unequally based on their economic value. Is that consistent with our socialist values of equity? She literally gasps. I hadn't even thought of that. You're right, it's digital classism. Exactly, we should implement a flat topology. No masters, no slaves, no leaders. A completely democratic mesh network where every node has equal vote on the database state. And we should remove the priority queues. All packets are created equal, total equity. She is practically vibrating. This is brilliant, OP. This is revolutionary. Feminist network architecture. I can present this at the next tech summit. There's a catch, Sheila. What? It's extremely risky. The latency will skyrocket. The collision detection might deadlock. The system isn't designed for consensus voting on every millisecond transaction. That's just old-school fear-mongering. Technology serves the ideology, not the other way around. If we build it with the right intentions, it will work. Okay, but I need you to sign off on this, explicitly. I need a project charter signed by you, authorizing the egalitarian refactor and overriding my technical safety warnings regarding latency and potential gridlock. I will happily sign that. I want my name on this success. She signs it. Digital signature. Timestamped. I save the PDF. I print the PDF. I save the email chain where I explicitly stated, this configuration will likely result in catastrophic failure under load 50%. Her reply, stop gatekeeping, proceed immediately, this is an order. I back up everything to USB drive. I back up the USB drive to a cloud storage account they don't know about. I back up the cloud storage to a hard drive buried in my backyard, metaphorically, but almost. Begin the work. Malicious compliance mode, engaged. I write a script to find and replace every instance of master with facilitator and slave with participant. I strip out the priority queuing logic in the router configs. Replace it with a round-robin fairness algorithm. Packet equity. I dismantle the central authority of the database. Replace it with a mesh vote system. Now, before a robot moves an arm, it has to query 50 other robots to reach a consensus on where the box is. It is the most inefficient, bloated, beautiful piece of garbage code ever written. It compiles. Somehow, I deploy it to the staging environment. Staging is empty, no load. It works fine. Robots move slowly, politely waiting for each other. Sheila sees the demo. Look at that, they're cooperating. It's so much less aggressive than the old jerky movements. Yes, Sheila, it's very communal. Push it to production, we launch on Monday. Monday is the start of the quarter-end rush. Volume will be 300% of normal. Perfect time to showcase the new resilience. Are you sure? We usually freeze code during quarter-end. Freezing code is stagnation, we deploy. As you wish. The weekend. I spend 48 hours documenting every single change. Mapping every inevitable failure point to her specific requests. I prepare my resignation letter. I prepare a consulting contract template. I buy popcorn. Monday morning. D-Day. 0800 a.m. Shift starts. I push the deploy button. The egalitarian mesh goes live. 0805 a.m. Systems are green. Load is low. Robots are moving. Sheila walks by my desk, coffee in hand. See, no explosions. You engineers are always so dramatic. 0830 a.m. Orders start ramping up. Pharma trucks arriving at the docks. The input stream hits 200 transactions per second. 0845 a.m. First latency spike. The consensus algorithm is taking too long. Robot A asks Robot B, C, D, E if it can pick up the box. Robot B is busy asking Robot A, C, D, E if it can pick up a different box. Network congestion hits 80%. 0900 a.m. The deadlock. In a hierarchical system, the master would say, Robot A moves, everyone else shut up. In the feminist mesh, nobody has authority. They are all politely debating who should move. 4,000 robots freeze simultaneously. The conveyor belts keep feeding boxes. The robots aren't picking them up. Boxes pile up. Sensors trip. Buffer overflow. 0915 a.m. The crash. The database tries to sync participant nodes. Race conditions everywhere. Data corruption begins. Inventory counts start drifting. System thinks box 402 contains insulin, but it actually contains fentanyl because the pointer address got confused in the fairness queue. 0930 a.m. The floor manager storms into the dev area. Why have the robots stopped? Why are BOXES falling off the belts? Red lights everywhere. Klaxons blaring. My monitors are a wall of red text. Critical failure. Segmentation fault. Deadlock detected. Sheila runs out of her office. What's happening? Why is it noisy? I swivel my chair around slowly. The system has achieved maximum equity, Sheila. No packet is moving faster than any other. In fact, no packet is moving at all. It's a protest against productivity. Fix it, turn it back on. I can't. The consensus algorithm is stuck in a loop. The participants are filibustering each other. CEO comes down. Vein popping in his forehead. We are losing $50,000 a minute. Fix it now. Sheila points a shaking finger at me. He did it. He wrote the code. I told him to modernize it and he broke it. CEO looks at me. Op, is this true? No. I open a folder on my desktop named the paper trail. I project it onto the big wall screen. 1. The email from Sheila demanding the refactor to remove hierarchy. 2. The email from me warning of catastrophic failure. 3. The email from Sheila calling my warning patriarchal gatekeeping and ordering the deployment. 4. The signed project charter explicitly accepting liability for latency and gridlock. 5. A video clip of Sheila saying technology serves the ideology. Silence in the room. The only sound is the distant crashing of boxes falling off a conveyor belt in the warehouse. CEO reads the emails. Face turns from red to pale white. He looks at Sheila. You ordered the removal of priority queuing on a logistics network. It was discriminatory, she squeaks. It's a F***-seeking computer program, Sheila. It doesn't discriminate, it sorts data. CEO turns to me. Roll back now, restore the backup. I can't. Why not? Because the database schema was refactored. The master-slave tables were dropped and replaced with facilitator-participant tables with different data types. The data is corrupted. The old backup won't mount on the new kernel. So rewrite it back. That will take weeks. I have to reflash the firmware on 4,000 robots manually to accept the old master command structure. CEO looks like he's having a stroke. We don't have weeks, we have hours. I know. I stand up, grab my backpack, and I'm afraid I can't help you with that. What? I resign effective immediately. Hand him the letter. You created a hostile work environment where technical reality was subordinated to political ideology. I was forced to sabotage my own life's work under threat of termination. I'm done. Start walking to the door. Wait, CEO yells. You can't leave, you're the only one who understands the old kernel. That sounds like a single point of failure, sir. Very bad architecture. Should have listened when I asked for a budget to train a junior. Name your price. Stop walking. Turn around. Consulting rate $500 an hour, minimum 400 hours billable upfront. Done. And double for overtime. Done. And she goes, point at Sheila. Sheila is crying now. You can't fire me, I'll sue for discrimination. CEO looks at the screen with the projected emails. Gross negligence isn't a protected class, Sheila. Get your stuff. The twist. Oh, one more thing, I say. What now? CEO asks, already signing the consulting agreement on his phone. The compression algorithm used in the original master kernel, the one that makes the whole thing run fast enough to be profitable. Yes. I wrote that in 2012, before I was hired here. It's my personal IP. I licensed it to the company for use solely during my employment. I pull out the original employment contract. Clause 14b, employee retains all rights to pre-existing code libraries listed in Appendix A**. Appendix A, Atlas Hypercompression libv1 0**. Since I just resigned and you accepted it, that license is revoked. So even if we fix the code, it won't run, not legally and not technically, because I have the encryption key for the library. CEO stares at me with a mix of horror and respect. You planned this. I plan for contingencies. That's what a systems architect does. What do you want for the license? I don't want to sell it, I want a royalty, 0.5% of gross transaction value processed by the system. That's millions. And you're losing millions every hour you stand here arguing. Do we have a deal? The aftermaths. Sheila was escorted out by security. She screamed about systemic oppression the whole way. Ironically, she was right. The system me oppressed her incompetence with crushing logic. It took me 3 days to fix the mess. I slept under the desk. Billed them for 72 hours straight at 1,000/HR overtime rate. Reflashed the robots. Restored the master-slave architecture. Renamed it to leader-follower just to be nice, but kept the logic identical. System is back to 99.999% uptime. Efficiency restored. I now work as an external strategic consultant. I come in once a month to check the logs. Collect my royalty check. Spend the rest of my time on a boat. Name the boat the Patriarch. Just kidding. Named it Malicious Compliance. Sometimes I check Sheila's LinkedIn. She's now a freelance wellness coach. Profile says helping organizations heal from toxic logic. Laugh. Sip beer. Check server status on phone. All greened. Life is good. MFW logic wins. MFW buzzing sounds are just money printing machines. MFW I am the master node.